I think we're live. Yes, Marcy?
Are we good?
We're going to find out.
Oh, I think she means it's still showing the whole, basically what we're seeing.
I don't know if I can do, I don't think I can do anything else about it. I don't think I did anything last time either. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything about that. Oh, what about now? This is better, Marcy? It's better? Okay. Oh my goodness. Pastor David, it's going to be really emotional this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And may we do justice for the victims, and may we honor them with our live stream.
Yes.
Maybe you can say a prayer before we begin.
Sure.
Go ahead, Pastor David.
Father, we thank you for this opportunity, for the technology that enables us to speak to people even across the world about what is happening to people who are made in your image, as well as to your people in Iran, as we bring this information, as we bring these images, as we bring this news to people everywhere. We ask that you would open hearts and minds, show them what they need to do to respond to it, give us the words that we need to convey it in a way that that brings forth both the horror and the necessity of our response. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Okay.
Pastor David, is your phone on? Maybe you can silence it, or maybe it's your maybe you're getting text messages because we hear the ping.
Yeah, I'm getting. Let me see if I can.
Maybe on your computer.
Yeah, let me see what I can do about that.
Unless Marcy, if you want to text me only, because that's what you're getting. We're getting messages in our group chat.
Okay, I was able to fix that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, we are live. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for taking time and joining us today. Today's live stream is to honor the sacrifices of the innocent Iranians who sacrificed their lives for their basic human rights and their basic needs in January and February, an event that began at the end of December. The content that we will be showing you will be extremely difficult, my friends. Please know that we will be showing you injuries of individuals being abused physically. You will see footage of very difficult mourning. So I am asking you to not have children around you. I'm asking you maybe even to lower the volume when you see mourning occurring a little bit, because it's rather loud. And we'll show some images as well. So we have footage and images. Pastor David, thank you for taking time and joining me in this live stream.
I'm glad to do it. It's a message that needs to get out to the world. On the one hand, we all know, terrible things have happened. It's another thing to see them and hear them.
Indeed. And what happened in Iran, it is now being considered as the worst massacre in modern history of the world. And what you will see here, you will not have seen in mass media, in your mainstream media. And we wanted to show you the realities of what transpired on the streets of Iran. And we'll discuss a little bit about the war, but Iranian people thus far, outside and inside, are cheering the bombings because they are tired of being held hostage for 47 years, going on 48. I'd like to invite you to watch a journalist bear testimony to lives and abuses against two nurses who were taking care of the injured. She will be speaking in English. Please pay attention to what she's saying. What she will be describing is extremely difficult. But let me just give a brief history. In 1979, the Islamic Republic was established based on its foundation is based on Muslim Brotherhood doctrine and teachings. And they truly have been abusive to the Iranian people, to say the least. They have executed countless of political prisoners, innocent individuals. They have murdered women for showing their hair. We remember Mahsa Amini in 2022. They have murdered students for speaking up. There have been this event that you saw, this uprising that you witnessed in 2026 and 2025 is not the first one. People of Iran rose up in 2003, 2009, 2017, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and in 2025 and 2026. We led them down with Green Revolution in 2009, when hundreds and thousands of students were murdered and injured. The numbers that are being spoken about now because of January 8th and 9th, or due to what happened in January on January 8th and 9th, is over 43,000 people were murdered mercilessly. And you will see some of these images. There were about 10,000 that were blinded. You will see images of that, videos of that. You will hear testimony of doctors. And there are thousands and thousands that are injured. There are thousands that are missing. There are thousands that have been captured. And there are so many that are waiting for execution. So we are here to bear witness to these crimes. We're showing you things on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook that you will never see anywhere else unless you are tuned in with the Iranian channels on social media. Pastor David, let us go ahead and listen to Iran International.
As Iran was gripped in a nationwide uprising in January, two nurses at a Tehran hospital defied government orders and helped wounded protesters. Many had gunshot wounds, and the Islamic Republic security agents ordered hospital staff not to treat them. 14 medical workers refused. Several were arrested. Iran International has now learned what happened to two of the nurses while in detention. According to multiple sources familiar with the case, the two women were subjected to repeated acts of severe sexual violence by security agents over several days. The accounts are horrific, and the physical damage inflicted catastrophic. One nurse, 33 years old, required surgery to remove part of her intestine. Doctors warn further procedures may be necessary. The second nurse required emergency surgery after suffering severe internal bleeding. Both women's lives have been altered permanently. Sources cannot be named due to the risk of retaliation, but this is not an isolated case. A year-long Iran International investigation into the 2022 uprising found sexual violence was used systemically against detainees as a tool of intimidation. The UN's fact-finding mission on Iran has also gathered evidence of torture, sexual violence, and forced confessions against those detained during the unrest. Amnesty International has also warned that thousands of detainees face similar risks. You can read the full report by Iran International's Farnoosh Faraji on our website. The link is in our bio.
So
it's yes, please.
No, so it's not just the protesters. It's when they got injured or wounded, those who would normally treat them, people following whatever the Iranian equivalent of the Hippocratic Oath would be, doing their jobs, were also threatened, injured, beaten, imprisoned, maybe some of them executed as well, simply for helping those who protested. That's
Yes.
barbaric behavior.
Absolutely. I think this should be considered crimes against humanity
Mhm.
in the medical terms on
Mhm.
on world stage.
Mhm.
There were doctors that were saying, he was bearing witness, saying that people were calling us, saying, we don't want to take our children to the hospital, our brothers, our fathers, our daughters, because they're coming and dragging them from the operating table. They're
Mhm.
dragging them outside and they're executing them, these injured ones. And so there were so many doctors that were on the phone speaking to people, saying, so when did you get shot? How many hours ago? Do you have bleeding? Has the bleeding stopped? Okay, if the bleeding has stopped, or if you were shot 12 hours ago, chances are you're going to stay alive. There are more severe injuries that we have to deal with. So this is absolutely an abomination, Pastor
Mhm.
David.
It is. And at the same time, we also have to lift up those doctors and nurses, and there are others that we'll be talking about later, firefighters and others who are genuine heroes, people who didn't listen to the regime, people who put their own lives and their own health and well-being on the line in order to help people who were unarmed, okay, people who presented no physical threat to the regime or its facilities or its thugs, um, but who were assaulted and worse. Uh, the doctors and nurses were heroes for treating them, and some of them paid the price for that too, which is, I mean, that's contrary to all civilized standards.
There's nothing civilized about Islamic Republic.
No,
And there is a difference, my friends, between the Iranian people and the regime that has held them hostage
absolutely.
for 47, 48 years. The next video that we're going to show you is the actual act of shooting. Now remember, these murderers shot people, defenseless people, with AK-47, with war grade weapons. They shot them with chemical weapons. I've seen myself videos. I don't have them here, but there's a video I've seen myself that a man dressed in chemical gear in order for himself not to be contaminated. And he was shooting at people in their faces. So the next clip, again, the videos, the images you will see here are very difficult. So please don't have your children around. The next video shows the actual act of
برو 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 نه بابا شروع
I mean, it takes your breath away.
It really does. They're using military grade weapons, tactical shotguns, AK-47s, and who knows what all else. And they're using it against unarmed people. You know, what kind of regime does that? You know, there's been a lot of talk about immigration and customs enforcement in the United States, ICE. Okay, and we can argue about whether everything they've done has been appropriate or properly carried out, whatever. They're being held up by some people as a modern Gestapo, by people who are historically illiterate, to use a term like that. But I think if you want to find a modern Gestapo, or actually the SA probably would have been a better analogy for 30s Germany. If you want to find a modern equivalent to that, look to the IRCG units and the Besiege units. Did I pronounce that properly?
Yes, Besiege, yes,
Yeah, the
IRGC.
Besiege units, the militia, the paramilitaries. Look at them. They're nothing more than government-approved murderers, and that ain't ice. Okay.
Correct. What you saw now on your screens is the way they were shooting people. But what does it look like when the shots, some of them, are entering the physical body? What I will show you is a news clip from Los Angeles that talks to doctors, Persian doctors, that they themselves were imprisoned for opening clinics for AIDS patients in Iran. And they have been administering thousands of miles away to the people on the ground in Iran. So please let us go ahead and watch this clip.
The pictures, these are all the bullets.
Dr. Kamiar Alai is providing life-saving care to a child nearly 8,000 miles away.
This is 10 years old boy. He's from Kurdistan, western part of Iran.
He and his brother Arash became doctors in Iran. Both are now department heads at Cal State Long Beach, who for months have used limited internet connections to help Iranians suffering injuries too horrific for us to show.
Here in front, in the middle of eye, back of eye.
They shoot to eyes, skull, head, neck. So those very sensitive organs, they wanted to kill them.
They say their patients cannot go to area hospitals.
If they go to hospital, they may be arrested, tortured, or maybe killed.
So the brothers have set up an emergency triage with laptops and phones.
This is 18 years old guy. This is 23-year-old guy. This is 80 years old grandma.
They say with the war now underway and a government internet blackout, their work has gotten more challenging.
We can ask Mehdi.
But they have backup. More than 220 doctors have volunteered for a coalition they formed called the Medical Alliance for Health Services Abroad, or MASA.
Hi, Mehdi. We have a new case of a 27-year-old male who got shot into the chest.
MASA was named in honor of Masa Amini, whose death at the hands of the country's morality police 3 years ago set off protests. That's when the brothers launched their international coalition.
8 doctors were assigned to this case because most of them are, multiple trauma.
The idea, treat what they can through telemedicine and direct those in greatest need to doctors set up in safe, hidden spaces.
با مریض در تماس باش ببین چیکار می‌کنه.
The brothers understand the fear of government retaliation. Decades ago, they established AIDS clinics in Iran to treat patients the government shunned. They were arrested.
When regime arrested us, it was shock.
We were in solitary cell for 8 months, and we were in prison for me around 2.5 years, and Arash 3.5 years.
The brothers are now carefully documenting what they call violations of international medical convention. But their immediate concern, connecting.
Experts who are working in technology help us to have device or software or platform to be useful when we have limited access to internet.
They know there are thousands more people in Iran in desperate need of a doctor's help.
Thank you very much for your attention. And this is a mother, talk about her son.
Kara Finstrom.
Credit where credit is due. That is from the CBS affiliate in Los Angeles, and presumably the doctors are in Los Angeles as well. They deserve credit for bringing that to people's attention.
Exactly. And the next video that I will show, once again, we keep on repeating this, is extremely difficult to see, to watch this child being impacted with similar x-rays that you saw, that with a similar shot bullet. I don't know what these bullets are called. They use them for...
I think it looks like buckshot to me, from a shotgun.
Okay, I'm not familiar. So, but please, my friends, what I'm about to show you, it's disturbing.
If I were guessing, I'd say he probably saw what was coming and put his arm up in front of his face, which is why the pellet spread is on his forehead and his arm. Unfortunately, it also obviously caught his eyes, and he's been blinded.
There are so many people. From what the reports say, there are 10,000 that have been blinded, either in one eye or in both eyes. And I've seen images of these young, beautiful men and women that had dreams, had hopes, and they're beautiful. And now their lives have been altered for all time. Pastor David,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and please.
And who knows how many of them, like that young man there, were children who were there with their parents because their parents didn't have anything else to do with them. They couldn't leave them at home, and who certainly didn't expect security forces or paramilitaries to fire on their children. But they didn't hesitate to do so. As far as they were concerned, if the children were there, they were as much targets as their parents were.
In fact, you speak of children, with the power of Israel and the U.S., many of the besieged centers, the command centers, have been destroyed. So now they set up camp literally in tents, in parks, on the streets. They hide behind human beings. And they have checkpoints, so many checkpoints on streets of Iran. And now they're using children. They're bringing their own children. Pastor David, do you believe this? They're bringing their own children or the children that they know of the neighbors, and they use them as shields. So when the U.S. attacks or when Israel attacks, the kids are killed, and then they blame the war, the U.S. and Israel. In fact, just yesterday, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, everything has been happening so fast. A 12-year-old boy was killed in one of these attacks. But this is not where they stop. In the beginning of the war, what the Basijis were doing was they were transferring inmates, these people that they had arrested in January and in December. They were taking them from detention centers, from prisons, to the besieged command centers. So when the governments are attacking, when Israel and the U.S. attacks those centers, the prisoners are killed. And this is a video of that. I have silenced the sound because of the vulgar language being used. And among these, they're not just men. Among them, the man who's speaking are women and children as well. So they're moved.
That there should be absolutely no surprise that they're doing this. Hamas has been doing this for years, if not decades, using civilians and not people they've kidnapped, but just people off the street. Well, all right, no, let me back up. The whole idea with Hamas is that they embed their fighters in people just going about their ordinary everyday lives. Okay, this is part of the reason why Israel is so frequently condemned for attacking hospitals or schools or
places of worship.
Places of worship, because Hamas put people in those locations, people firing rockets, people shooting at Israeli soldiers, and well, for one thing, the laws of war say those places become legitimate targets when they do that. And at the same time, Hamas knows that unfortunately Western media falls for that every time. It's like ringing a bell for them, and immediately jump on Israel for doing that, despite the fact that if Hamas were not in those locations, there's no way that Israel would be attacking them. Exactly the same tactic is being used here
Yes.
by the regime, and we've heard this again from the Western media. Well, the United States and Israel, they're attacking schools and they're attacking medical facilities, and they're killing civilians. And guess what? They're also blowing up ammunition dumps and besiege headquarters that are being shielded supposedly by people like the hostages, for all intents and purposes, that they moved them to.
Yes.
It looks like it's just people getting off the bus, but in some ways the video that you just showed is one of the most appalling that we've seen.
Mhm. But you don't see
completely
this.
contrary to the Geneva Convention.
Yes. And those of you who are watching, please feel free to comment. If you're watching on LinkedIn, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, please go ahead and comment. Have you seen? Let's have a conversation. This is a dialogue between Pastor David and I. We're bearing witness to the suffering of the Iranian people, but we're asking you to become witness so you can go out there and spread the word about the suffering of the innocent Iranians, of all creeds, of all religions, Baha'is, Christians, Muslims, Zoroastrians, those who are atheists, because there's a mass exodus out of Islam in Iran. And we know that it is the fastest growing underground church. And in fact, one of the gentlemen that was hanged 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago now, I'll show you his picture. He has a cross on his neck. In fact, there are cities now. They call them missile cities. My friends, they have missile cities underground in the city of Yazd and in other cities across the country. And that's why they're 500 feet deep in the ground. So if you see that civilian areas being destroyed, it is not done on purpose. It is not done on purpose. Americans and Israelis are not interested in murdering civilians. They're going after actually a bloodthirsty regime. Now, the next video that I'm going to show you is super disturbing. It's extremely excruciating. It shows a beautiful woman getting kicked in the head and injured by a machete, then murdered. Please if these images disturb you, if these videos disturb you, please do not watch this next video. If you have children, please get them out of the room. The truth has to be shown.
چون من بچه مردم بودم تو از خونه تو نبودم کثافت بزنم به اون خونه نجسی بچه مردم بودم خدا ازت نمیگذرد آشنای من غریبم بی تو با خیابانها من رفیقم بی تو بعد تو عمرم من دیگر عاشق نشوم.
We are in the presence of a crime that has no name. That's what Churchill said. And I can't imagine what the thoughts that were going through her head, through her mind, as the man attacked her with the machete. as he came at her with his shoe, with his whole might. Why? Because she was asking for her basic human rights, for a better economy, for herself, for her family. It's such a beautiful girl. I don't know.
And this scene has been repeated thousands upon thousands of times across Iran. Back during Vietnam, there was an expression for that the United States government used for its efforts with the people of South Vietnam to try to keep hold of them, which was winning hearts and minds. Okay, they were trying to get South Vietnamese people to defend their country every bit as much as the United States was trying to. What we're witnessing here is the opposite, the polar opposite of winning hearts and minds. It's as though the regime, and this is going back to January, of course. This is not just since March 1st. It's as though the regime has decided that there is no way to keep the hearts and minds of the Iranian people, that decades of abuse of their population has just lost them all legitimacy. And they've decided that they're not going to win hearts and minds anymore. They're just going to beat them into submission. And the amazing thing is that Iranians have responded and said, "No, you're not. No, you're not."
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, they have been
Right.
asking
That's
for
right.
the world to come to their aid. And now
Yes.
US has come to their aid. And
Yes.
President Trump has to finish the job. And regime change needs to mean an absolute dismantlement and destruction of the Islamic Republic of Iran. It cannot be, let's bring someone who's moderate. No, because we will witness yet another genocide. I will say, I'm not a genocide expert.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is not a scholarly statement, according to the UN definition of genocide. Maybe in the future it will be. But to me, murdering its own people at the rate, and the method that was used should be considered a genocide.
Yeah.
And the regime must change wholesale. The next video. Yes, go ahead, Pastor.
Well, before you move on from that, I just wanted to mention I did just a little research before we went live. Do you know how many people were killed at Tiananmen Square?
No, I'm not familiar with it.
No one knows officially, of course. The government claimed it was just a 200 or 300. But the highest estimate I could find is that Tiananmen Square resulted in the killing of no more than 3,000 people. Now that's horrible. I mean, and completely inexcusable.
One is too many. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But for years and years, when people wanted to talk about government brutality on a mass scale, since 1989, Tiananmen Square is what they've referred to. We're looking at a situation where government has turned on its own people to the degree of more than 10 times what the Chinese Communist government did. And that doesn't even include the tens of thousands of other people who have not been killed, but have been maimed, blinded, wounded. It absolutely, and especially when you consider how much smaller the population of Iran, 90 million, as opposed to communist China in 1989, which was about 1.5 billion people. The numbers just dwarf those, absolutely dwarf those of Tiananmen Square. And of course, the Iranian people know this, and hopefully more and more people in the West will come to realize this was not simply this wasn't simply a riot that got out of hand.
It was a peaceful protest.
It
to
was
ask
a
for the
peaceful
basic-
protest that was met by an absolute massacre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a 3-year-old, Melina, was murdered in the arms of her father. Let us go ahead and watch her story.
Melina Asadi was only 3 years old. While on their way to a pharmacy, Melina was shot in her father's arms by security forces. She died in his hands. While the people of Iran mourned, state media rewrote the narrative to blame protesters. Authorities arrested Melina's father, extracting a forced confession to clear the regime of guilt. Only then was her body released to the family. Melina's memory must not be defined by state lies. Share the truth. Be her voice.
A 3-year-old, beautiful child.
Mm-hmm.
It's, when you are friends that are watching, when this evening rolls around, hold your children closer,
Mm-hmm.
because so many are unable to do so anymore, simply because they wanted to have a better life. Mary Strom, David Nelson, Eddie Zomaya, thank you for taking time and commenting. Friends those of you who are watching, please feel free to speak to us and share your thoughts with us. Now, next video. Pastor David, you and the rest of our team has witnessed me break down by watching this next video. It shows the agony of a mother with losing her child. And my message to mothers out there is, hold your sons, your daughters closer, because this woman is not able to hold her child anymore.
That kind of grief, I think, is almost unfathomable. There are lots of people who have lost children under a variety of terrible circumstances, but her son didn't do anything that warranted his being shot down in the streets.
If we only understood really the meaning of the shriek of this mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just one of thousands, we would never speak of the numbers that we have been stating just as a number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every person that fell on those 2 days and beyond and after belonged to a family, had loved ones, had friends.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman's cries is a shriek. She's wailing. And, we are bringing this to you all to show you things that you have not seen in mainstream media, for you to understand the pain that has been rooted in the hearts and minds of the Iranian people. Christians, Baha'is, Muslims, atheists, Jewish, Zoroastrians, it does not matter. And we need to break our silence.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot remain indifferent. Mm-hmm. Elie Wiesel said, opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And and at least hate is an emotion. But when one is indifferent, it sends chills down my spine. And I've seen so many people that have been indifferent in the face of the massacre of the Assyrians in Iraq and Syria, in the face of murder of Christians in Nigeria, and now in the face of the murder of the Iranian people.
This puts me in what you've been saying, puts me in mind of a trip I took to Yad Vashem a number of years ago.
Please explain what Yad Vashem is.
Yad Vashem is the Israeli Holocaust Memorial, but it's more than just a memorial. It is also a research center. Even today, the effort goes on to find the victims of the Holocaust and to remember them individually. Yad Vashem has been instrumental in my finding information about my own family. I've lost 30 members of my family, at least. It's probably more, but 30 that I've found so far who were victims of the extermination camps and of the roving firing squads called the Einsatzgruppen, who killed hundreds of thousands of people in the Baltic states and Russia and elsewhere during World War II. When I went to Yad Vashem, there were all kinds of horrific images of the camps and so on. But the thing that affected me the most was the final part of the tour. There is a circular room at Yad Vashem. It's a tall room, and all it contains is over 1 million binders. Each binder has the information that's been collected about a specific individual based on the testimony of their relatives or German camp records or variety of things. But each one is an individual, and it was absolutely devastating to see over 1 million 3-ring binders, each one of them representing one person. That is what I suspect, or something very similar to that, is going to be built by those who follow this regime in order to memorialize and to remember those who have given so much in fighting it, and for the freedom of the Iranian people. They need to be remembered, and they will be.
They will be. They will be remembered. And speaking of remembering, at the end of the program, I'm going to read a few names because we're told that a victim dies twice when their name is forgotten. And we will not let their sacrifices and their names to be forgotten. The next video is heartbreaking as the family members of the deceased dance at the gravesite of those unmarried young men and women and children that were murdered in the hands of the IRGC.
Upon them, there is a country where freedom calls. There's a country where people dance at funerals, not out of joy, but out of defiance. There is a country where they dance beside the graves of their loved ones, so the enemy cannot claim victory. There is a country that refuses to surrender, even in grief. There is a country that stamps its feet on the graves of its youth to break the silence forced upon them. There is a country where freedom costs the lives of the young. There is a country called Iran.
And this is a Middle Eastern tradition. We have it too as Assyrians. Some families would dance at the sight of their unmarried loved one that has passed. And these people are not joyful, as you can imagine. Obviously, it's needless to say. They are dancing under the crushing weight of pain, under the crushing weight of grief. And I suspect what you mentioned earlier, these are the people that will rise and will make sure that their loved one's name and memory will not be forgotten. Palmas, or Palamas, 1359, thank you for being here.
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
That's me.
All right.
That's me.
And
Shoshan.
And Shushan, Sergis Shushan is a woman who I admire. She's a lioness of Nineveh. I call her lioness of Nineveh. She's a poetess. She's an advocate. She's a selfless Assyrian who honors human rights. And I spoke to her over the weekend, and she says, I find no words to describe this barbarism. How many victims will this dirty war between the superpowers swallow up? And, let us all pray for the liberation of Iran. The next video is going to be, there were countless of stories of courage, because Cynthia Ojek, a Holocaust survivor, said, amidst despair, there lies sanity of hope. And there's so many people that fought back courageously. You will see a video of this young man that fights them, the IRGC savages, with fire. He does get killed at the end, but please take a look. As you hear, the woman is screaming, no, 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 because they shot him at the end. But that is a hero. He's a hero. I don't know his name. I don't know if, I'm sure Iranians have his name. So we honor his sacrifice, his bravery. The next video is quite moving. It's a young man who's a firefighter himself, and is running through the streets, saving people until he gets shot and dies. I will play it one more time. Indeed, Hamid Mahdavi becomes immortal, and there have been so many videos that have been made about him. So these two are only two stories of courage. There are so many. There was another one, because our time is short. There was another one. I didn't bring it here. There's another one that the man has allowed protesters, innocent protesters, in his this building. And as he told them how to flee, he held the door as long as he could. But then these savages came in, shot him dead, and broke the CCTV cameras. But all those were captured. Those images were captured. I'm going to upload some other videos. Pastor Dave, did you want to say something until I upload the rest of the videos?
it's striking how much of this reminds me of the kind of
regime are planning to murder.
Go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead.
Yeah. By mentioning the Holocaust, I think I've already identified myself. I'm both a Christian and
I want
Jewish.
to share something with you.
And so much of this reminds me of the resistance to the Germans during World War II, to the extermination program. The people who hid the Frank family, for instance, came immediately to mind when you mentioned the last situation that you did. The doctors and nurses, firefighters who tried to save protesters and treat protesters, reminds me again of the righteous Gentiles who did everything they could to save Jews. The young man with the flamethrower, I can't imagine how he got a hold of a thing like that. It looked like the kind of thing that you would use to clear brush in a forest or something. What was doing in Iran, in Tehran, I can't imagine. But he reminded me of the fighters of the Warsaw Ghetto. He didn't have much to fight back with, and he paid with his life in the end, but he tried to resist. And quite frankly, by virtue of his actions being seen here and on social media, he succeeded.
There are, in every war, in every struggle, there are those that are silent knights, KNIGHT, that no one really knows their name, but they become immortalized. I think God sees their efforts, how they save human beings, and the Talmud says, if you save one life, you've saved the world. So this man that I just talked about, who saved maybe 4 or 5 young men that were running away from the savages of IRGC. He saved an entire world. Speaking of that, in the Hebrew Bible, we read about Cain and Abel. And in the Hebrew Bible, it says, when God speaks to Cain, he says, where is your brother, and what have you done? And Cain says, am I my brother's keeper? So there are 2 reasons why I bring this up. One, we are our brother's keepers. Whether they are atheists, whether they are Christian, whether they're Baha'is, whether they're Zoroastrian, Jewish, Muslim, it doesn't matter. When someone suffers, we must stand with them. Therefore, the name of our organization, Here I Am, Charitable Foundation, Here I Am, Send Me, because our work is not only for the Assyrian people. It is absolutely first and foremost for the Assyrian people, but we cannot forget the vulnerable others who are suffering. And the second thing I wanted to say is that the Hebrew Bible continues and says, God says to Cain, your brother's bloods cry out to me from the ground. What does bloods mean? It means that all the generations that would have come after Abel, you murdered. So these 50,000, the number is astronomical. Right now they're saying 40,000, 43,000. And again, forgive me that I'm using this as a statistic. Every individual matters, right? There are 43,000 generations, over 43,000 generations that have been murdered. Little Melina that was murdered in the arms of her father, 3-year-old. She's gone. And everyone that would have come because of her, after her, is gone, is no longer. So that's why we have to pay attention. This is why we have to really say, here I am, and not remain indifferent.
Yes, absolutely.
The next video is about a kids that are about to get
and execute our children. Mohammed Shokhri, he's 16 years old. Diana Tarabadi, 16 years old. Ahura Safai, 16 years old. Kamila Nasari, 18 years old. Melika Azizi, 18 years old. Yasin Kasemi, 17 years old. Mohammed Amin Biglari, 19 years old. What more did the Islamic regime have to do to our people for you to understand why it's essential for them to fall?
And this is a question I have for our viewers. You probably don't see this anywhere else. You don't hear these names anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you now see why we've gone to war? Aside from all the geopolitical issues, the oil, the gas, and other issues that the media only focuses on. Mm-hmm. There's a human face that we have to honor. Their human suffering we have to bear witness to. So I ask all of you to be witness. Now you are witnesses. Now this is on your shoulders. Please go forth. Please talk about the suffering of the people of Iran. What do you have to say to that, Pastor David?
I was taught when I was growing up, never again, never forget. A large part of the reason why I got involved with you and what was then called the Iraqi Christian Relief Council and felt so deeply the plight of the Assyrian people is because my people had gone before and had experienced what yours did. And I couldn't help but say, I have to help these people. We're looking at what the Iranians are going through now at the hands of their own government. And I can't believe that there are actually people saying, no, we should turn our backs on that. That has nothing to do with us. I'm reminded, completely different image. I'm reminded of the ghost of Christmas Present in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, when Scrooge, looking at poor people that he sees in the woods, asks, what do these people have to do with me? And the ghost of Christmas Present says, are they not of the human race?
Wow.
The Iranian people are of the human race.
Indeed.
We can't turn our backs on them.
Absolutely. We cannot. And we're doing our part in spreading the word about their suffering. Please, our friends that are watching this, please be their witnesses out there and tell the world as much as you can. We have just a few minutes left, so I want to show you in their own words, because I'm in contact with my family, my friends on the ground in Iran. I know so many of people that I know their glasses have been broken, their door, because of the impact of the bombs. But they say, it's okay, we'll bear this. Let this regime end. And now I want you to hear it in their own words.
It looked terrifying, didn't it? But for us, every missile means something different. For us, each one is revenge for the brothers and sisters this regime killed, for decades of executions, for the dreams this regime crushed, for the girls this regime abused for years, for the political prisoners kept in the darkest cells, for the young people who are no longer beside us, for the mothers who buried their children, for the fathers who held their tears until no one was watching, for the students beaten in their own universities, for the kisses given in fear, for the last messages sent before the internet went dark. For years, millions had to say goodbye to home and build a life far from everything they loved.
You're on mute.
I was coughing. Sorry about that. What citizen in the world would want a foreign power to come and attack their own country. Nobody. But the Iranians are begging. Look, President Trump's name was plastered all over the streets of Tehran in January. They called Bibi Netanyahu Bibi June, means darling Bibi, dear Bibi. They call President Trump Amu Trump, Uncle Trump. Please come and help us. They have written on walls, Trump, help us. We've been begging for your help. There's so many videos that I haven't brought here because there's just not enough time. And really, frankly, I went through hundreds yesterday in preparation for this event today, and I've been prior to the program, I've been feeling really ill, emotionally. So I don't know. There are times that I watch these videos and I'm left speechless at their bravery. I'm left speechless at their suffering. I'm left speechless at the savagery of what IRGC has been doing to the people.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we need to make clear here, this is not a partisan message. We're not doing a campaign commercial for Donald Trump here. And it doesn't matter how you feel about him, quite frankly. You can love him or loathe him. You can vote for him or you can vote against him. And we can argue about whether the attack that began on March 1st should have happened. Okay. I think there's a legitimate argument. I don't agree with it, but I think there's a legitimate argument that we shouldn't have taken that action, at least not we did. At this point, that argument's irrelevant. At this point, that argument doesn't have anything but academic interest. Okay.
And for me, I'm on the other side of you.
What?
For me, I'm on the other side of you. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you. I think we should have done it a long time ago. So I, as an Iranian, Assyrian, welcomed it.
Sure, and I get that, and I agree with that as far as it goes. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm simply saying I grant that there is a validity to the argument that we shouldn't have done that. Okay, but whether we shouldn't have or not doesn't make any difference at this point. At this point, on March 31st, the Iranian people are suffering. They have been since the first of the year, and that's why I agree with you that we should have done this. Okay, but even if you think that we shouldn't have, at this point, to back out, to simply stop and say, well, forget it, we didn't really mean it, is to leave the Iranian people to a fate we cannot even contemplate.
Yes.
To do that, quite frankly, would be a crime against humanity.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
We have got to end this regime now, or the blood in the street that will result afterwards will be like nothing that has been seen since the Holocaust.
Indeed, absolutely. Unfortunately, we're running out of time very fast, but just a couple of things. Let's not forget that Iranian regime killed many Americans, many Europeans,
yes.
many South Americans,
Mm-hmm.
many
yes.
Jews. Islamic Republic tried to kill twice our president when
mm-hmm.
he was a private citizen. So I commend what's happening. I wanted to just briefly show an Assyrian home in Urmia, or maybe an Armenian home, but it's a Christian home that was destroyed as a part of as a result of the impact. The suffering is immense. No matter what creed you are, you're in Iran, you're suffering. And I wanted to honor an Assyrian Armenian firefighter, Yohanna, means Jonathan, who was killed by a shotgun, by a shoot, or he was assassinated. He was killed, murdered, when he was trying to put out and save people's lives in Rasht. So we honor this wonderful Assyrian man and his heroism. Pastor David, before we go to our last video, and our website is HereIamFoundation.org, HereIamFoundation.org. Please visit us there for more information about the work we've done across the globe. But I wanted to recite these names. Navid Elahi Boulevardi. He was a nurse and he was murdered as he was treating patients. Saeed Ibrahimi, Mansoure Haydari, along with her husband Behruz Mansouri. Ghazal Damarcheli, she was 17 years old. She was an art student. She was shot and she was close to her father and she cried out, "Father, Dad, I'm burning. Pedar daram misuzam." A 28-year-old biotechnology student, Negin Adimi. And also the 3 young men that were hanged, Saleh Mohammadi, who was a champion, Mehdi Qasemi, and Saeed Dawoodi, who had a cross on his neck. We mourn their death as we mourn the rest of innocent Iranians that were murdered. Friends, please watch this last video, and after that, we will bid you farewell. Sorry, let me say.
Faces representative of each of those faces has 1,000 behind them.
Yeah. It's absolutely heartbreaking. They had dreams. They had beautiful plans for their lives. They had wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, fiancés, girlfriends, children that now mourn their murder, their death. This is why Islamic Republic needs to be dismantled. And we have to be on a united front with a unified voice supporting our president in doing what he knows to be best, which is removing this regime.
Yes.
Friends, I apologize for getting emotional. I'm a human being. I was born there. These are my fellow Iranians. They're human beings that simply want a good life, like we do here in the United States. Go ahead and hug your children, embrace your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your parents, because there are thousands that are not able to do that tonight in Iran. God bless you all. Our website, again, is HereIamFoundation.org. HereIamFoundation.org. Iraqi Christian Relief Council still stands, but we are serving in that capacity. Because Isaiah said in 6:8, he said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And we have said, here we are, Lord, send us. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you for your comments. Eddie, Zomaya, David Nelson, Mary Strom, Shushan Sergis, thank you all for being here. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you.